Hey there everybody, how you doing? I am Francis and welcome back to another worst to best video. Remember last time that we did one of these videos, we ranked all of the dungeons from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Well, today we are going to return to The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, but this time we are going to rank the bosses. Keep in mind, I'm only ranking the bosses, so I will be excluding the mini bosses, alright? As always, these lists are based on my own personal opinion playing the game, so my list may look different from yours, so please don't be offended if one of your favorites is ranked kinda low. It's nothing personal, it's just how I feel about said boss. Now, if you guys are ready, let's begin with the worst boss in this classic. Alright, so I'm starting off this list with Ganondorf as the worst boss in this game. And if you guys see my playthrough of this game, you know exactly why. Because this is a boss that makes you appreciate Navi a little bit more because you gotta fight Ganondorf without being able to target him. And as you guys know, I am shit when it comes to aiming without targeting. Also, if you're out of magic, you're screwed because the magic recovery items at the bottom are very, very limited. And by very limited, I mean very. Like of all the jars down there, only 4 of them are magic recoveries. Next up on our list is Volvagia. I like the design of Volvagia, but that is as far as my compliments go because as far as the fight goes, I'm not really a big fan of the fight itself. The fight is simple enough. He pokes his head out of a hole, you pull out your newfound hammer and you play whack-a-mole using the dragon's head as a mole. And then you introduce his face to your sword, and then he flies around, drops a few rocks on you or breathes fire, and then process repeats. My problem with Volvagia is that the boss kinda overstays his welcome and is honestly way too time consuming for my liking. Like for a boss where all you have to do really is smack him on the head with a hammer, there's no reason why it has to be this long. Like I said, it's a simple fight, and I know some people like this fight, but honestly me, it just takes way too much time for my liking. Baronad is the final boss you fight in your child form, and it is easily my least favorite of the child bosses, mostly because of how time consuming this boss is. First, you gotta release it from Jabu Jabu using your boomerang, then it'll circle jellyfish around it. Once you defeat all the jellyfish, it surprises you with another wave of jellyfish to fight off. Once you defeat all of those jellyfish, it'll start moving it around, and then finally you can hurt him. Honestly, this boss is just way too much work to finally, start doing stuff against him. It's not the worst boss, obviously, but it is annoying that you have to fight 2 waves of jellyfish before you can do anything to this bastard. And let's not forget that this ugly son of a bitch has the most disturbing defeat animation of all time. Gross. It's no surprise that the Water Temple is the most despised dungeon in any Zelda game. But luckily, the boss is tame compared to the rest of the dungeon. Morpha is a rather simple design boss with a very simple strategy. It's a sphere that controls the water around it, it'll create tentacles, and go for a joyride. You have to ruin its fun by pulling it out of the tentacle and attack it with your sword. It's a simple boss, nothing really special to it, but I won't complain. We deserve a simple boss after going through a dungeon that is literally designed by the devil. Just like the rest of the Dongo's Cavern, Kingdodango is a boss that I don't really like. But at the same time, I also don't hate him. He's just there. He'll try to breathe fire at you, you give him an explosive snack, and then you show him your shiny sword. And then he'll make like a Goron and start rowing. You either sidestep him or you run as fast as you can and repeat. What more do you want me to say? Honestly, that's literally all there is to it. Do you guys remember how much I roasted the final battle with Ganondorf? Well, Phantom Ganon is practically the same fight, so you may be wondering, why do I love this fight, but I hate that fight? Well, the answer is very simple. Unlike the battle with Ganondorf against Phantom Ganon, I can still target him. But before we play our game of tennis with him, we have to shoot him out of the world of paintings first. Mama is the first boss, so naturally she is the easiest boss in the game. All you gotta do is stun her using either your slingshot or Deku Nut, introduce her eyeball to your sword, shoot her off the ceiling with your slingshot before she lays her babies, and boom, she's dead. Very easy, nothing too special, but still a boss that I oddly enjoy fighting. It's no question how much I hate Ganondorf. I think I explained it enough that you guys kind of, get it that Ganondorf and Francis don't really see eye to eye in this game. But Ganon, on the other hand, Ganon is a completely different story and is actually a pretty fun final boss, and without the Master Sword, this can be actually quite a challenge. The idea is to shoot his head with a light arrow which will blind him, and then you hit his tail. You don't have the Master Sword, so you have to use the next best thing. The Mega 10 Hammer, or the Big Goron Sword if you took the time to get that. And then once the flames are down, you retrieve the Master Sword and you repeat the process from before, but replacing the Megaton Hammer / Big Goron Sword with the Master Sword. And then when Zelda works her magic, you cut Ganon up like the pig that he is and defeat him once and for all. Honestly, a very fun final boss. If you have played as many Nintendo games as I have, I'm sure you have fought a boss similar to this at least once. Of all the giant bosses with giant hands, Bongo Bongo is without any question my favorite. You drop in onto the battle on Bongo Bongo's drum, interrupting his jam session, so I can understand why he's mad at Link. Bongo Bongo hides in the shadows while he tries to slap Link around like the fly that he is. Once you shoot each hand with an arrow, he'll try to charge you. Just keep the lens of truth on for the whole battle and you should be okay. This boss gave me problems as a kid and easily became one of my favorites once I figured it out. I said one of my favorites because there is still one boss that I love a lot more. And I think you guys know who it is. Twin Rova is probably the most creative boss in this game. The battle starts off with Koom and Kotek, who are polar opposites. To defeat them, you have to reflect their magic back at each other using the Mirror Shield. Then they combine into Twin Rova, and this is when the fight really gets fun. You have to store the same element into your Mirror Shield 3 times, and then reflect the element at her, and then jump over and beat the shit out of her with your sword. This boss fight is honestly one of the most creative concepts for the Mirror Shield I have ever seen. I absolutely love the Spirit Temple for many reasons, and Twin Rova is one of them. And there you guys go, that is my ranking of all the bosses in The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. What do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree with anything I said? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. As always, the comments are a judgment-free zone for you guys. Also, feel free to tell me your favorite or least favorite boss in this game. I always enjoy hearing what you guys have to say. Also, if there's another, ranking or top 10 list you guys want to see me do, feel free to let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. Thank you so much again for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. But until then, have a nice day. Bye, everybody.